Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I'm your host, Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual. The fellas ain't in here. It's weird though. How they late and we snowed in? Somebody tell me how they late and we snowed in. The hell they doing for them to be late? Welcome back. Shout out to all the travelers that's here, man, watching, listening, however which way you are participating to the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're on the YouTube side of things, on the Twitch and Twitter. Appreciate y'all checking in as well. Make sure y'all hit that follow button if you're on the Twitch side, man. Rate and review if you can as well on the audio side. And hit the button. Make sure you following, man. Takes 10 seconds to do so, and it's free to show you support that away. So go ahead and get the late guys in here, the tardy fellas in the chat. Yeah, man.
I don't like that hoodie, bro.
Hey, how y'all late and y'all snowed in, bro?
How that work? Do in the house?
Because we still got things you doing.
Nah, I ain't trying to hear none of that, bro. Next time y'all late, bro, I'm not. It's gonna be a solo show. Y'all just gonna be in the background.
Well, bro, it's gonna be a solo show. You wear that hoodie again next time.
You know what's crazy?
Hey, you know what's crazy? You need to zoom back. You looking like a damn Ethiopian.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Because my camera fell a couple of days ago, and I have yet to adjust it. So it's gonna have to. I'm gonna deal with this for now. But anyway, that's what Dre. So you know what's crazy, bro? I've had this hoodie at least 12 years. I remember wearing it at Morgan State, and I'm not even a fan of the Hurricanes like that. I told y'all that's like my school that I wanted to go to if there was one public school or private school, not HBCU. But I'm DC, Maryland, everything. Like, but I like the Hurricanes. Like, I like their colorway. And on top of that, I'm not a fan like that. I'm cool with them. They cool with me. But so many people think either I was a former athlete with the Hurricanes because I wear it to the gym, or I wear it when I work out, like outside playing football. You think I'm a former athlete of the Hurricanes? They think I'm a fan of the Hurricanes. I remember when the playoffs started, I went to the gym to hoop. This nigga said, "Oh, y'all motherfuckers." He was like, "Y'all got a big game today, huh?" I said, I was so confused. I was like, "What you talking about?" Then I looked down, I got the hoodie on. Somebody in the chat, Black Mual, said, "Damn, Mual, I'm a FSU fan." So they take it serious, and I'm just like, "Yo, it's just a hoodie."
Hey, but you wear that around the ops, you know, me and Black Mall here, we the ops, man. You know, Florida State, Miami, the Gators, none of us like each other. You know what I'm saying? Funny so enough, I always get the bad memories when I see that.
Funny enough, all I got is Morgan State gear in this fucking The Hurricanes, though.
Hey, why didn't you wear the Morgan State gear tonight? I mean, we about to talk about a Morgan State hire tonight.
I just came from the gym. That's this.
Hey, but I'm just saying.
And I was on time.
We about to talk about a Morgan State dude tonight. You wore the Morgan State.
Luckily, we can't smell you through StreamYard. Goddamn.
I ain't even have a chance to go. I ain't had a chance to shower or nothing. You know what's crazy? Because I don't even do this, but I was so geeked to be back on. First off, side note, if you in the Bowie area, road still some shit. They decent, like, but they on the bottom level of decent. They're not on the upper level of decent. I was so geeked to get out the house. I went to the gym, got my little prescriptions at Kaiser, but then I went to pick up food, and that's the reason why I wasn't able to shower when I got home. I went to go get some goddamn mezza. Have y'all had mezza before?
Mezza, is it like kava?
Yeah, it's like Mediterranean food.
Yeah, it's like kava.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go pick up some mezza, and that was probably a bad mistake because it took me like 20 extra minutes to drive there because everybody driving slow, rightfully so. Like, don't be out there doing no bullshit. But yeah. Moneyball said join DMV Iron. You know what's crazy? I heard of DMV Iron, but see, like I work with like personal trainers. I had one for like the last 13 years. And yeah, like DMV Iron, I think was one of them jumps where I was looking at their trainers. I may be wrong, but I think I'm right. DMV Iron was one of them Jones, bro. They personal trainers, like outside of the people that I work with, these motherfuckers charging like $900, $800 for like 4 sessions.
That's crazy.
I ain't even gonna tell. Like, that's way out of my like, bro.
You might as well pay for surgery at that point.
Hey, get the body surgery.
Get the Drake 6-pack itching.
Bro, I couldn't
stretching, whatever they call it.
Like, there's so many more. Like, there's a couple of affordable trainers out there that I respect so much. Like, because they never really budge on their prices. They're consistent with their pricing, and like, there's and on top of that, like, they keep the people coming in, and y'all got the nerve to fucking charge people, bro. Like, bro, that's a whole bill, bro. Like, that's a real life. That's insane. And on top of that, like four sessions, only 4 sessions in a month. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Like, people want to get like 3 sessions a week, and you charging for a month for $900.
They would never see me.
Never, bro. But before we get to Daronte Jones, hope everybody been cool during the winter storm. Shout out to my man Damo, bro. He was on the show before. The converted Commanders fan turned Ravens fan turned back to Commanders. I saw him put that tweet out there that, you know, this storm was overblown. And honestly, I felt for him because, like, it wasn't a bad. It was a bad tweet. But, like, I know he was probably talking like relative to where he lives. He wasn't. I mean, when you put it out on Twitter, then everybody gets it. But, like, he was just talking about to relative where he lives. But even in this area, I ain't seen no shit like this before, bro. Like, I'm shoveling sheets of ice to get out of my driveway, my parking spot, bro. Like, I'm shoveling sheets of ice in my backyard so Dakota can have somewhere to poop because they ain't cleared the sidewalks yet. It ain't nowhere to walk her, so you got to clear some space out back. Like,
shit, my dog couldn't even poop. He was sliding every time he tried to poop on the fucking ice.
And her dumb ass tried to go down the stairs towards to the downstairs zone, not knowing. But like, she was about to go down there. John said, "Bruh, if you go down there, I'm not getting you. Like, you gonna be stuck down there because there's no way I'm gonna get down there. And we both gonna get back up. It's impossible." But yes, the sheets of ice is insane, bro. Like, this is, and it's you've been teleworking, obviously, right? Yeah. I don't think we're going back to work this week.
I hope not, because I mean, it might
definitely not tomorrow.
Like, I even got people parked in the middle of my parking lot. They couldn't even get in their space because this is too much ice. Like, yesterday, I was lucky and I said, all right, well, when I went out there yesterday, the ice was just at the top. So once you got past that thick layer of ice at the top, it was soft snow at the bottom. But people that went out there today, shit, man, they shoveling nothing but ice. Ain't no snow. It's just ice.
Hey, I did that this morning. But I only had to finish the rest of my parking spot. Everything else I did yesterday, but I thought I could just drive over the shit. And when I got in the car yesterday, and I actually physically saw like what I would be driving over, I said, yo, this ain't gonna work. So you know what? Let me go back in the house. Let me go ahead, call it a day. Work day's over. Get on the video game, and I'll try again tomorrow morning. But yeah, nah, that shit. It's a little rough, bro.
I didn't.
What's your situation, AJ?
Bro.
Because, like, did they take care of y'all in VA?
I mean, I live in DC, so I live in an apartment complex, so I ain't got to worry about no shoveling or whatever. I ain't been outside.
Damn, you ain't stepped outside?
Nah, gym right downstairs. Groceries. I think I went and got groceries maybe Friday or Thursday last week.
You got it right.
I ran out of some stuff. Instacart. Made them motherfuckers do the delivery. Unfortunately, the person shopping did forget like ground beef and peppers and onions.
It might not have been nothing in there, bro.
It may not have been, but like that was the main thing that I needed because I was hoping to make some spaghetti for dinner. But I'm also in the process of moving too, so it's really kind of like helped me be able to sit still and go through these different options, but at the same time, it's limited me in some essence because it's like I already had like a setup with Shorty, but or whatever, and then breakup took place. So it's just like I just been pivoting, and because it was like the new spot was gonna be a 2-bedroom. I ain't need no 2-bedroom. It was just gonna be me. So then I had to get them to switch the application. Then these fools got like a new screen.
You was about to. I'm just asking. So
hey man, just keep going, bro.
You about to move in with Shorty, bro?
Nah. It wasn't move in with her. It was like get a bigger place because her living condition wasn't necessarily the best, and it was just like, hey, it could help alleviate some stress financially, and then just have that extra space for her 2 kids. Yeah, I mean everything played out how it did. Like everything was done.
That sounded like they moved.
That sounded like a move in, bro. That's what it sounded like.
I mean, I guess the way I said it was like, nah, I'm not about to move in with her, but like, yeah, either way, yeah, we're gonna live together. That was the plan, just to help alleviate shit. But you know, as I told y'all privately or whatever, I was about to sign the lease 2 days later. So now I've had to pivot with the property because I like the property. It's just that I don't need a 2-bedroom. During that time, they changed their screening process to a different company. And now this new company, it's been since like the 16th, bro. Like still don't have a notice of what's going on. And I guess they based in Dallas. So I didn't know Dallas had a snowstorm as well. So they ain't really been working. It's just been chaotic, bro. So it's like really the past couple of days I've been able to take my time, look at different places of interest. But it's like I don't want to keep shelling out money for applications because that shit is not cheap. Like you apply to a new spot, you paying for the application fee, a holding fee, and an amenity fee. You talking about almost $1,000
amenity fee before you even move in?
Yeah, like they make you pay all this crap, and then if it don't work out, then you get refunded. But it's like
I'm following, but I'm confused. I'm like, I didn't know they did that.
You talking about almost $1,000, bro? Because amenity fee be a one-time fee like $500, a holding fee be like somewhere between $300 to $500. Then the application fee be the $50. But it's like, you can't just. When you apply somewhere, you know definitively, like, I'm good. Like, that's where I want to be. But they just take it forever. And it's like my current situation, I need to try to get out of here before February, or I'm going to have to pay that first month of February, which is increasingly high due to the flexibility that they are providing me. But it's like it go up to an astronomical number because I'm pretty much like month to month.
So you really on crunch time then if you talking about
Yeah,
family.
so it's just like I've been able to just like chill, watch football. Like even right now as we doing the show, the East West Shrine game is on.
I forgot about that goddamn game, man.
Yeah, but it's just like I just been chilling, bro. Just like doing my own little thing. I've been playing Madden. I ain't really pressed to go outside. But outside expensive anyways, and it's too damn cold. What the fuck am I gonna do outside at 15 degrees?
Huh? I say you gonna fall too. That ice out there ain't no joke.
Yeah, and I'm not really a guy that likes winter, so it's like, man, I got a couple pea coats and stuff like that, but I don't own no gloves. I don't wear boots like that. Like, man, it's not for me.
Live out here, bro. You still need that shit.
Man, fuck that. Normally when it snowed like this, I would just go out of town or go out the country to beat the storm. But in this case,
nigga, I keep telling y'all, bro, the dude got 5 cars. He got 5 cars, bro. Talking about he can just pick up wherever he want to go and go somewhere warm when he see a storm on the way.
Bro, I don't have kids, so it's like I got that flexibility. Once I get in that bag, then
I'm the only one here with kids. Maul ain't got kids either.
But he got a child, pretty much a dog. Like,
hey, that it cost me $300 to have somebody watch her when I went to Columbia, bro. An extra expense for no reason, bro. $300.
Bro, I don't even like to date women that got dogs, bro. That shit used to blow me, son. Like, shorty be like, "Oh, I can't spend the night because I gotta make sure my dog gets to walk and poop and eat." I'm like, man, fuck your dog.
That's a valid concern. It's a living being. It has to eat and sleep.
Hey, man, fuck that dog, bro.
When I was with Shorty, I only really stayed over there on the weekend, and it was really Friday night, and I go home at 6:00 Saturday morning, bro.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on the show before.
That's what I do, bro. I don't sleep over nowhere. I'm leaving at least about 6 a.m.
If I do, I'm about to say, if I do sleep over, I'm gone off. You ain't got to worry about me. I ain't no nigga that I ain't no guy. I ain't no guy that's gonna sit around and stay in the bed with you. I'm about the door probably before you even wake up, bro.
and it's because of the dog, primarily.
For me,
I don't even sleep over Shorty's cribs, honestly.
I don't really need to stay around. I ain't that. Gotta be in love with that.
I thought maybe you needed to cuddle a little bit.
Nah, I don't need all that shit, bro.
Girls got more comfortable beds.
Some more than sloppy top.
That might work, but anyway, Daronte Jones, bro. Daronte Jones, new Commanders defensive coordinator, coming from the Minnesota Vikings. But he a hometown kid, bro. PG County, Capitol Heights. You know, strong DMV ties. We know that, man. Went to Morgan State, played in Morgan State. Had a little time at Bowie State too for a little bit, right? I think I'm trying to think what year was Bowie State? 2005 to 2009. Bowie State. So HBCU. He got some ties in the HBCU lanes. DB was his position. And you know, things of that nature. But then obviously a lot of time with some top tier defensive coordinators and defensive minds in the NFL. Brian Flores, I already mentioned. He was with I believe Mike Zimmer, Cincinnati's coach. Who's the Cincinnati coach? Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis. And obviously he had a time with defensive coordinator position himself in college, defensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers for 1 year under Bergeron. Pretty good opportunity for him.
Oregon.
And what I say?
You said Bergeron.
What's his name?
Oregon.
Like origami.
Oh, almost like
damn.
Oregon.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Nah, you said Bergeron. All right.
I'm gonna let the chat decide. But yeah, so like I think honestly, bro, here's one thing. I'm being flat out and telling the people this. I think like I'm very aware of what I think Washington wanted to do. Like we knew that they wanted experience and from a coordinator perspective, and it turned out that they went with inexperience on both sides of the ball in terms of like play calling coordinator altogether from a pro level at the very least, giving respect to Jones and LSU. But for Jones, I'm actually super intrigued. I'm intrigued by both sides, but with Jones in particular, I like his background. I like who he's coached under. I like the results of the Minnesota Vikings and in terms of how they did play. Learning under Brian Flores is pretty impressive, and it's also intriguing as well. But also, like, it's a guy personally from Dre, you and I, like, I have no negative thing to say about him. I have no negative thing to really even like utter from the understanding of where he comes from. Like, automatically, if there was one inexperienced guy that I think Washington, that I would be okay with Washington taking a shot at, and that's what I'm saying, I'm being completely biased, it would be Daronte Jones. Like, he had a lot of work and his resume is extensive, and to get this opportunity at 40, and having also the rumor mill from the coaching cycles come up and say, like, this is a guy that you want in your building as a defensive coordinator. He's going to get there eventually. And then, like, understanding that even the local reporters, I can't remember exactly who said it, but said when he was in that interview room with these guys, his interview blew the coaching staff out of the water. Like, I think this is one person where I'm actually like, all right, I want you to be great, and I hope it works out for you. That's from the just the bias perspective. I'll give y'all the floor. We could talk about it a little bit more in detail. But that's kind of my opening thoughts. Is like, yo, good job for Washington. Dan Quinn is taking a huge risk, undoubtedly, if we want to like take a huge risk on both sides of the ball. But if it had to work out like this, or if it ended up playing out like this, I hope that it does work out, because I like Jones from a background perspective. But then, you know, at least we got some familiarity with Blau on the offensive side. But Jones, where y'all at?
Yeah, I mean, I think we learned a lot from what transpired over the last week as far as the search. Ideally, they wanted to get Brian Flores, but because he still ended up having the option of feeling comfortable and wanting to go back to Minnesota, they got the next best thing, which was his right-hand man. And just for transparency purposes, I actually know Daronte, as there's so many minority coaches and there's like a coalition and network. And over the years, I've been kind of considering getting into representing coaches, especially those that are minorities. I've been able to build a relationship with and know him. And we've also done like some charitable work with each other in the DC area. There's a camp that I used to be a part of. I'm not a part of it anymore, but Positive Choices, where we have like coaches clinics and players. And one of the guys that leads it, Raheem, he was the defensive backs coach at Boston College, and now I think he's the defensive backs coach at UMD. But he's been around the league. He was even at Alabama. So, yeah, I think with Daronte overall, it's a great opportunity for him. I actually talked to him for a little bit yesterday when I found out. Told him I need him to come on here on the show. But unfortunately, we got to now go through Washington Commanders PR staff for approval.
Oh, that's gonna go.
So we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, he's excited, and I'm excited for him. Don't necessarily know what he's going to do with the job, but I believe in who he is and how he coaches the game and how he interacts with people. I believe that it's going to be a mixture of Brian Flores' defense, and on top of that, some nuances of what Dan Quinn has been known of doing. I think the major difference between Blau and Jones in their hire is Blau literally only been coaching for 2 years. Whereas like Daronte has went through every single level of football. Like you just went down his resume. You feel me? He done coached what is that, D2, D1.
Yeah.
Been in DC at a
FBS,
powerhouse
FCS.
LSU with Derek Stingley and other guys on that defense.
And I'm glad you made that point because I did want to, like, I mentioned inexperience, but like I wanted to reiterate definitely defensive coordinator standpoint. But I'm glad you said that because it 100% facts. The difference is in terms of inexperience, it varies because he has a background that extends for over 20 something years of coaching, whereas Blau has only been around for like 2 years.
Yeah, so it's like he done went from HBCUs to Power Fives to NFL teams. You feel me? Like he he called plays at some point. He called plays at LSU. He was defensive coordinator, right? So he got experience in calling plays. And from what I've heard, he also called the plays for the Vikings during preseason games. He literally became Brian Flores' right-hand man. And as we all know, a lot of people struggle with building relationships with Brian Flores. So it seems like to me, not to go on the record or anything, but when they were in that interview with Brian Flores, he probably, told him, hey, I'm probably gonna go back to Minnesota, but here's my guy who you should give a strong look at. That's why I think Daronte didn't become like present or known as a candidate until over this weekend, and it happened immediately. So it's like there's so many different nuances to the hiring process. I think some people thought they were waiting on Carl Scott, whatever. I just think that if Daronte is going to call plays similar to Brian Flores in a sense, and that is pretty much the foundation of the scheme, which I believe that's what Dan Quinn them want. I mean, they went against it hands on. Like Cliff Kingsbury is looked upon as one of the offensive savants offensively, and he had no answers for the defense on that day when Washington played Minnesota. What they lost 31-0. Like
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels struggled, Marcus Mariota struggled, and it's not like Minnesota got like the best. They don't have the best secondary. They don't have anyone top tier. Like Harrison Smith is a well-known, smart guy. You feel me, and been around a lot of football, but in their secondary, they don't have no marquee players. But applying that pressure and making the quarterback confused post snap and dictating the game is huge from a defensive standpoint. And I feel like Dan Quinn has also had to realize like it's time for me to switch things up on my end as far as how I look at the approach to calling games, because you want to dictate what the offense has to do. Like you don't want the offense to dictate what you got to do, because Dan Quinn's defense pretty much bend and don't break in a sense. And when you don't have a Micah Parsons, a game wrecker, you're not gonna get the turnovers. So ball is still life under Daronte. It doesn't change now that Joe Witt Jr. is no longer in the building. I just think that Adam Peters got to go ahead and bring in the players that fit within this scheme, and I think it helps a lot knowing where this person is coming from. And the last thing I'll say before passing it to Dre, I think maybe guys need to stop with their mock drafts and looking at defensive end, and more so looking at a guy like a Caleb Downs and just locking in on that, because it's like he's a versatile chess piece. Like he literally could play edge in some essences in these fronts. He's a great blitzer. He could play coverage. His football IQ through the roof, and you still get your safety. Like you can move him all over the place. And in free agency, you could attack that edge position a bit more because there are some options.
We could have a conversation about that. I don't want to rush through that conversation while getting on.
Conversation about that. I guess I was just saying, like, now we have an idea what this defense is going to look like and the players that you need to bring into the fold to execute it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm excited for one. I always root for PG County, first and foremost. I mean, he's a hometown guy. I root hometown anything. So I'm excited from that standpoint. But I'm also a little bit more excited about this hire than I am even more so about the Blau hire. It's not that I'm not excited about the Blau hire. It's just we really don't know much about Blau to get excited about or get mad about or get angry about. Whereas this guy, I mean, he comes with a good pedigree. I mean, look at the coaches that Mual named off that he's coached with, that he's coached.
And I left off Vance Joseph. That's the other one I was thinking
Vance
about.
Joseph, that's another defensive savant. So, I mean, he's coached under nothing but defensive savants. And also, like AJ said, he's went through the process. He's made his bones. This dude's 47 years old. Like, he's not fresh out of college or, fresh out of playing the game. This guy's been coaching for a while. But for whatever reason, he didn't get his chance. And I think, Maul, you were alluding to John Keim earlier in his podcast, and when he was talking about with Daronte Jones and that Dan Quinn after the interview, he was so blown away that he called around the league to ask what was he missing about this guy, because he blew him away in the interview. And that's kind of how I am. Like, I didn't know much about him, honestly, about this before this whole hiring. But once I looked into him, I'm like, man, how did this guy not get a chance earlier at something of a defensive promotion? So this is what excites me about him, especially coming from that Brian Flores system. I mean, like AJ said, we just watched that system dominate us. I mean, in looking at defense, I mean, I understand you have to have the horses. You want to have those blue chip players. But what we watched on defense last year was mostly fans saying that we have zero talent on the defense. Now, we may not have a lot of talent, but you should have enough in the NFL that you don't look like what you did last year. And I think that's what you want to see out of a coach. You want to see if coaches can get more out of less, because you're not always going to have the best. There's going to be injuries that happens in the NFL. You're not always going to be at the top of the talent heap, but you want to see if a coach can get more out of less. And that Minnesota defense doesn't have a lot of dudes that you would say, oh, when you look at you wouldn't probably look at a Minnesota defense like you would look at a Denver Broncos defense right now, or even a Houston Texans defense, as far as when you talk about talent. I mean, there's some talent there, but that Minnesota defense can look disruptive and dominant at times, even with what they have. And I think Brian Flores probably would attribute a lot of their success to a Daronte Jones and helping them game planning and, kind of leaning on him. If that's your right-hand man, I'm sure he has a big hand in that. So that makes me excited for him coming here, and we still, yes, we need the dogs. We need the blue chip players and all of that. Sure. But I think that even if you're not up to that level, this is probably a guy that has a plan when you don't have, all of the talent and all of the dogs. And this is a guy who I would hope coming in that if you don't have that type of talent, I mean, hopefully this offseason you are adding some of that talent. But even if you don't, you want to see that this defense doesn't look incompetent. You don't want to walk out of here thinking that nobody on this defense can start anywhere else in the NFL like you think right now. Like right now, fans are so low on this defense, and I do think that there's a couple of players that can start. I do think there's something there, but for whatever reason, whatever the disconnect was with the coaching staff last year, no one sees it right now. I do think you can get something out of some of these guys, and that's what you hope out of a Daronte Jones, that he can come in here and start getting something out of a Mike Sanders still, that he can start unlocking a Trey Amos to the next level. Even a Jordan McGee, maybe he shows something under a Daronte Jones, but that's what you kind of hope to see. But of course, you want to add those blue chip guys. But again, I am excited about this hire because of the pedigree that he comes in with. So I do hope that he comes in and he's able to excel with the job.
Yeah. Of the early stuff that I've been able to look at from Jones, it's actually interesting. He has a coaching clinic, I think, from his time in LSU, and even done an interview with Ari Merov, the big sports update dude on Twitter. Communication is a big deal to him, and like, it's part of his coaching clinic. It's part of like being able to teach and emphasize the communication, but also like being an effective communicator. I think is something that I've noticed in him, and while I think for somebody who has done things at the college level, various levels of college, and then worked his way up. With the coordinators that we mentioned already, the coaches that we mentioned already, working his way up under their defenses, like you have a depth in which you can really reach certain people. I don't know what that means because Joe Witt's been around for a long time too. So, and I don't want to do like these direct comparisons between the present and the past, but it's to say like that experience part, like knowing where to talk. Knowing how to talk and know how to talk to who exactly. I think that's a big deal. Because I don't think there's going to be from a talent standpoint, there's not going to be a huge flip overnight. But if you can raise the floor of your defense that you're a coordinator for, like that is a big deal. And how do you get the fucking knuckleheadedness out of your defense? Like, how do you eliminate it? Like, get that out. And I think if you can get a structured defense, communicating your philosophy, your principles, and making sure that everybody who's playing for your defense that will be playing significant time, how they on the same page is going to be a big deal for Jones. And I think that's going to be the big challenge. Obviously, we haven't reached free agency yet, right? We haven't even got to the draft yet. But like that's going to help shape exactly what he needs. And I think for anybody out there, now that you know where he came from, like you may want to start digging into who might be available in Minnesota that he's going to be bringing over here. I don't know yet. I haven't like specifically looked at one team, but there's probably going to be some Minnesota people just like they did with Dallas. Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, et cetera, et cetera. They're probably going to bring some people over. But what's interesting and what's important too is knowing like his track record. Granted, he's played under coach under Brian Flores. But in this 3 years in Minnesota, you're talking about a unit as a passing game coordinator and DB coach, 2023 to 2025, 10th in 2023 in pass defense DVOA. 2024, first pass defense DVOA. 2025, third pass defense in DVOA. In 2022, as a DB coach, I think that was his first season with Minnesota. Third in the NFL in passes defended. They had 87. He was tied for 10th in interceptions. That was they had 15 interceptions in 2022. 2025, they led the NFL in interceptions. They had 24 picks this year, and 95 passes defended. Both led the league. They tied for the most takeaways in the league with 33. They had an interception rate of 3.8%, which is the top of the NFL. I think all of those things are super encouraging for a secondary and just for a defense who wasn't able to produce turnovers at all. And honestly, for the last 2 seasons under Dan Quinn, who has preached producing the football. Like, get somebody in here who actually showed that they can do that shit.
And Mual, before you finish, I was just going to add to that. A lot of people kind of pointed to his 1 year as defensive coordinator over at LSU, in which they were kind of a mid defense. They were ranked somewhere around 66 or something. The Ed Orgeron, the coach at the time, he controlled everything on that LSU team. And from what I understand and from what I was able to dig up, he gave Daronte Jones a little bit more autonomy after the Alabama game. And if you look at the defense and how they performed after Alabama in the 21 season, LSU defense was much better. I mean, they started playing almost to the point lights out. They were holding teams to pretty much 14 points, but they were giving up a lot earlier in the year. So I just wanted to kind of add that, like, when people kind of go back and look at his 1 year as the defensive coordinator at LSU, Ed Orgeron had a lot of control in that team. And from what I understand, he gave Daronte a lot more control after that Alabama game. And if you want to go back and look at the stats, you can go look at it. He did. That defense performed a lot better after that Alabama game.
Plus, like if you really know ball, a lot of what causes a secondary to play good and create those turnovers as far as interceptions is communication. It's not even about individual skill set for real. It's about communicating pre-snap, post-snap, whatever, just knowing your duties. I don't think anyone in here can literally say who the 2 starting cornerbacks for the Minnesota Vikings have been over the past couple of years of all those statistics that were named. Because really, if you're creating havoc and pressure and forcing a quarterback to think so much, you just need guys to just do their damn job
And when you have like a resume like that, where you been in so many different spaces, so many cultures and environments, you know that communication is one of your key tools and ways that you get through the players. So it'll be interesting to see because currently, even in the secondary, I don't think a lot of the guys don't fit the traits that are on the roster, as far as like a Quan Martin, a Jeremy Reeves, especially a Mike Sanders. I don't know where he can't play anywhere in this defense. So it's gonna be interesting to see how things fold out for Adam Peters and if he can really do his damn job and go and acquire some players. I mean, we're seeing the fruits of spending your cap money with New England advancing. You know, this year they acquired what Milton Williams, Robert is it Spillane or
Spillane.
yeah, Harold Landry, Carlton Davis. Who else did they get? Chase on. So it's just like all those different things. And then I'm saying Moneyball talk about firing Tommy Donatel. Well, you might want to remember that Jones actually worked under his father as defensive coordinator because his father Ed Donatel was the defensive coordinator for the Vikings at a point in time. So I don't know. I just think that be prepared to hear of other changes taking place within the coaching staff, some other guys being brought in. But yeah, I don't even want to entertain that conversation. Maybe y'all could, but
Yeah, I
let's
think
get something.
I think staff is going to be like the next domino that takes place, and then after that is going to be like re-signing and obviously free agency. We're moving off of DC. I think what caught my eye this week was the Daron Payne noise. I didn't actually even read the article. I was actually wondering why y'all was talking about him. When I say yo, I mean like Twitter. But I was like, yo, like what happened? I didn't know. I was like, yo, why they start talking about Daron out of nowhere? But then I saw like the headlines. Don't be surprised if Daron is back this year. And then even Daron had a conversation, I guess, with Ben Standick. And he mentioned, you know, if I'm not back this year, or if I'm not back next season, I know there's gonna be plenty of teams that wants me. So I'm not really tripping. It's football, it's a business. I actually agree and think with like both angles, like Daron coming back, I understand that. And then of course, if you cut him or move on from him or trade him, he'll be perfectly fine. Like somebody's gonna swoop him up. I think personally about Daron, I'm not that big of a fan anymore. He hasn't really been impactful. You know, they invested in him for a reason, and rightfully so at the time. But you know, ever since he got that contract, like his numbers have reverted or regressed back to like what he was prior to getting the deal. But then also like when you look at his tape, I'm not saying a person that really like takes over a game or has his moments. Of course he wins here and there. Like if you're good enough, you're gonna get wins. But if you're talking about a person like you expect him to at least play a bigger role in your defense, like that's one thing. Like I think it's easy to game plan for him, and I think offenses do game plan for him. I think they game plan for probably like two people, him and Bobby Wagner. Like it's probably it. And they let the wild child Javon Kinlaw do his own thing. but yeah, I think that's kind of what I look at it from that perspective. But then I look at it from the financial perspective and why I think it makes sense. Bro, like Washington is with Daron Payne on the roster. They're already projected to have like top 5 in cap space, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, where does it hurt Washington where does it benefit Washington to cut them if they have the money already? Like they're not hurt. Like they got plenty of bread with Daron Payne eating up the money that he's eating up. And on top of that, I don't believe in the notion. Side note, I don't believe in the notion like if you get rid of him, like the grass isn't green on the other side. I think you can get rid of him and realistically, I think you get rid of him and and be good. You can find somebody that's going to replace Daron Payne. But I just think from a money standpoint, like if you feel like he's good enough to be on your roster, like let him go ahead and play out his final year, and you can do what you want with him after that. Let him go restructure him. I don't know, but yeah, I understand both angles where I'm at. You can keep Daron. I'm cool with that. I don't have big expectations for him, but yeah, where y'all at? You muted.
Oh yeah, I didn't read the article either. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Ben, but I'm not paying for anybody's Substack or anything. You know, appreciate him coming on Trap and Dive, but yeah, that's just not my thing. I don't like paying for subscription services. But yeah, I think it's just another conversation starter. At the end of the day, there's absolutely no reason why Washington should get rid of Daron Payne. This team has not hit on players. He's one of the very few Washington drafted players that has seen a second contract or even a third, you know? Outside of Cosme and Terry McLaurin, it's just Daron Payne who's seen a second or third massive contract. So because of that, you're now seeing a guy who signed an extension, 3 years ago, now fulfilling his full contract pretty much if he stays on the roster. That's a rarity in the NFL. But with this particular team, due to the lack of talent and due to the person that they thought may replace him in some regard, Johnny Newton, not living up to his billing, you can't get rid of a Daron Payne. And it makes no sense because you're not paying a bunch of guys money on this roster. So anybody that you do want to acquire in free agency, Daron Payne's deal is not going to hurt you by any means. It's not going to affect anything that you could do with the acquisitions that you want to make. You're gonna extend Laramie Tunsil, free up some money there. But when you really look at Washington's defense, that's the only real returning piece as of right now that you can look forward to in some regard. We got to remember Dorrance Armstrong is hurt too. Like he tore his ACL and some other stuff. He not probably going to be ready for the beginning of the season. And even now with the hire of the DC, I don't even believe he really fits. Like I don't really know what you do with a Dorrance Armstrong. Like it's not like he's a speedster coming off the edge. But yeah, I think you keep Daron Payne. Yeah, he hasn't necessarily lived up to the billing of the extension, but when he got the extension, he had 13 sacks. So
No, he had 11. Don't do
okay,
that.
11 sacks. Yeah, he had 11 sacks, which is a huge number for a defensive tackle in the NFL. I mean, even guys that we revere as the top D tackles, like Chris Jones, is getting like 7 sacks this year or whatever. I just think that, hey, maybe this works out better for him in this opportunity with this new scheme that he'll be a part of. But you just let him play out his last year, and if he balls out, maybe you extend him. If he doesn't, you don't. But I still think you need to add some talent next to him. Can't just go into the offseason with Javon Kinlaw and Johnny Newton as your other 2 D tackles. You need to bring in some other talent, but there's also not a lot of guys at the free agency level at D tackle. So it's maybe having to use some capital in the draft to acquire somebody, but there's not really no dominant name that you could think of off the top of your head. I think you just rock with Payne and just build out the other pieces on that defense and see how it pans out for him this final year of his contract. Maybe he balls out. If he doesn't, it's over anyways. Because I mean, you got some hard decisions or reality decisions that you got to make with a Frankie Louvu, a Dorrance Armstrong, a Tyler Biotish, and other guys, because Washington signed these guys on 3-year deals. This is the final year of their deals too. So I'm cool with Daron staying. I would not move off of him to create another hole just for the sake of saving a little bit of money that's not going to affect you and how you can acquire players.
Look, I'm kind of indifferent as far as Daron Payne goes. Like, I mean, they keep him, I get it. But at the same time, it's reasons to move off of Daron Payne. For one, he's a $28 million cap hit upcoming this season. another reason is he's been a part of a defensive line for Washington that has yearly, probably for about the past 5 to 6 years or whatever you want to call it, go back and say that unit is supposed to have been the strongest unit on the team, or at least the defense. Defensively, when you talk about the defense, you always look at the defensive line first and say that's supposed to be the strongest unit of the team. In yearly, they're more so overrated than they're not. And he's been a part of all of those units. So my thing is, if you get rid of he's not some you cannot move on without type of player for me, because you lose a lot with him. Like, you lose a lot with Daron Payne, and he's not the catalyst for why you lose it, but he's also not a guy that's been disruptive and making so many plays that you feel like you can't do without him. Like, this defense is overrated. Well, it's been overrated, at least as far as when you talk about it from a team's perspective. When you looked at the team, you say the offense is supposed to be this, the offense is supposed to be that. You looked at the defense. You always looked at that defensive line, and you always counted how many first-round picks you had on that defensive line. And they've been disappointing or even overrated yearly, and he's been a part of those units. And again, I'm not blaming Daron Payne. I'm not saying he's the catalyst for this, but he's been a part of those units, and you lose with him. Like, he's not one of those players that you're winning because of. Daron Payne has moments. He has flashes, and he's had flashes throughout his career, and I've always expected a little bit more than those flashes. Like, Daron Payne was, the 13th pick in the draft when we drafted him, I think, in 2018? And I accepted the flashes early on, because I'm like, at some point, Daron's going to turn it on. He's going to, turn into this player. He's going to be this real disruptive defensive tackle or this interior player, that gets supremely game planned against it. He's going to go out there and make plays. But every year, I feel like outside of that one year when he did have the 11 sacks, outside of that year, I feel like every year is Daron Payne just flashing. Like, that's what I feel like. Now, he's solid. He's consistent as far as, he's not a bad player, but he disappears a lot. Like, Daron Payne disappears a lot. And when I think about it, he's going to be 29 entering next year, and he's going to be a cap hit of $28 million next year. And when we talk about free agency and what you want to do and how you want to maneuver in free agency, it's not even just about who you can sign from other teams free agents. It's about your own free agents too. Washington has 33 free agents this year. Like, Washington still is in that moment where they have a lot of guys that they have to re-sign of their own just to field a formidable roster. Like, not even just talking about going out and signing other teams' free agents. We're talking about signing your own free agents. And I just think that part of that $28 million cap hit that Daron Payne is going to be taking, that can be used as far as bringing some other guys back, some other depth pieces back. But again, I'm indifferent on it. Yes, if he comes back, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be upset. But there is certainly reasons that you can move on from him. And I do not think that he's one of those can't go on without players. I just don't see it in Daron Payne.
Yeah, I don't think we arguing that. Like, he not a blue chip, but like he said, when asked by Ben Standard, if I'm not here, I'll be somewhere. He gonna make money on the open market. Like, he know that.
That's fine.
Like, a lot of people don't view him how like Washington fans do. So that's why he's not really tripping, whether he's here or not. Like, he done made most of his money of his contract already. And if he hits the open market, he gonna get paid. He gonna cash out. Like, what Jonathan Allen signed for maybe like $20 million a year almost when he took this new deal with the Vikings when he got released. So it's just one of those cases where we'll see how it plays out, but I'm not eager to move off. We do the show with Jamal, who reviews a lot of these player breakdowns, and I think we've seen Johnny Newton have his breakout game Christmas Day, but he can't stop nothing in the run game.
I wouldn't even call it like a breakout. Even
with I said a breakout just because.
No. I'm answering to the chat, not necessarily you. I'm saying even with respect to the type of game he had, I think people need to know, like, them numbers. Like, even when he got them sacks, it wasn't him that made the sack. It was his teammates who helped him. And that's not a true knock. Watch the film session, bro. But it'll break it down. I ain't about to shit on Cuz right now, but you get what I'm saying. It ain't.
Yeah, I tried to throw a loop for you to promote just watching the film breakdown.
Yeah, but
the film session, Yeah, just go on Trap or Dive on YouTube, subscribe, all that, and watch the film breakdown. I think even the 33 players that's available, bro, it is a lot of them not gonna come back anyways, and they shouldn't
Yeah, they're gonna have to
because that
rebuild.
means yeah, Adam Peters gotta reevaluate everything, both sides of the ball, to match up with what they now want. I guess they now have learned what they want from a offensive standpoint, and now they know what they need from a defensive standpoint to fit within these molds to be successful. And you're gonna have to spend some money. Like a lot of that cap is gonna get used, and that's cool. That's why it's there for you to spend because you have the availability because you haven't hit on players. You have not hit on your draft picks to pay them. And the two guys you probably could have kept in the fold, you decided to move off of upon new ownership, which was Chase Young and Montez Sweat. So now this is where you at. You moved off from Jonathan Allen as well. You just got to regroup. But in 2026, I don't think you could just move off of Deron Payne. Like, nah. And I mean,
Uh,
y'all cried so much about Kinlaw, and he signed for what, 15 a year? So what you think a Deron Payne gonna get? Like, come on, bro.
so let's kind of sum this up and get up out of here. Two things, and I want to hear from the chat too. Two things. Grade on Jones hire, defensive coordinator, and then keep Payne or move on from Payne. Where are y'all at in the chat? And then obviously I'm asking us on the show too. So grade for the hire, and then let's get a final answer on where we at for what you want, not what you expect. What do you want with Payne?
Yeah, I'll
What do
go
y'all
for
think?
yeah. First, my grade on the Daronte Jones hire, I'm gonna say B plus. I'm not at an A just because obviously there's still a bit of an unknown, not as much as a David Blau, but I applaud Dan Quinn for kind of going outside of the box with this one and not just going retread. Like this is a guy who does have a good reputation. He comes from a good system that has worked for the last couple of years. He's come from multiple good systems, and I think this is a guy who blew him away in interviews and he gave him a chance. And I do think this is one of those like things that could pay off tremendously for the team if it really works out. So I'm gonna give him a B plus on that. And as far as Payne, where I'm at today, yeah, I would go ahead and cut Deron Payne. I would go ahead and take that cap savings, whatever the cap savings we can get for this team, and move on and start rebuilding this defense and however you see fit. So yeah, I would move on from Deron Payne as of today.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I have the grade Durante Jones hire, I would do a B. I know that he's a good communicator. Now stepping into this role as the NFL defensive coordinator, of course, is going to bring some challenges. But I think the main thing that you could lead with anything in life in general is communication. If you could have those open lines of communication and get guys to be on one accord with one another, you should be able to form a good defense and good relationships and good rapport. The rest is to be determined, and that's from a play calling standpoint. That's from a personnel standpoint. Who's going to be in here? Um, having to execute the plays that Jones is going to be calling. Um, but I like the fact that I was a Brian Flores guy or whatever to not be able to get B flow and grab somebody from out of that room who shares kind of the same philosophy in that regard, and also has built those relationships, whether it be from a Donatel's defense, Zimmer, Vance Joseph. You got a lot of things that he could play off of, and on top of having the support of a Dan Quinn, who has been known over the last decade to be one of the best defensive minds in this game, I think that it could do a damn good job if Adam Peters just upholds his end and bringing in the right players. Payne, I'm keeping Payne. I'm not letting go of him to save 16 million, bro. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not creating another hole for myself and having to search for some other bodies to get. And I'm limited on draft picks for who I could bring in. Maybe if I had like a surplus of picks, okay, cool. But I don't have that. Then on top of that, the pool of talent that's out there at D tackle, you talking about like I want to say like a Joseph Day, a Larry Uga. I don't know how to say his last name. He's Nigerian. Yeah, you looking at a piss poor D tackle market. So I'm not doing that. I just hope that Deron just gives his best effort and understands that this may be his last hurrah, and just bust your ass when you out there on that field and make some shape.
For the hire, look, man, how can you not give anybody that went to Morgan State an A+? So let me go ahead and give my man an A+. No reaction. Okay, I'm gonna give it a B.
I'm with you.
I mean, I was thinking in my
I'm
head.
with you. I'm Morgan State too. So.
I mean, I'm thinking in my head. I'm saying someone put an A-. You said an A+. Like an A ain't an A. Like how you get minus or a
you
plus?
in this, bro? You in this? I ain't doing.
Bro, because I don't understand. I don't understand certain.
Can I help you
systems,
understand?
like,
Can I help you understand really quickly? So pluses and minus. I will put the pluses if you're doing it on a number scale.
It's 96 and up.
Yes, from a 1 to 100 scale. If you're saying an A+ would be anything over 95 for me. An A is mid A. It's 95, 94, maybe somewhere around there. A- is around 90
to 93.
So that's
it's still an A. What the fuck are we talking about,
AJ,
bro?
There's numbers to this. There's numbers to this.
Hey, man.
Yeah, so I can tell. So that means AJ don't even give D+ or C- for people that he think is some shit.
Bro, I used to argue with my teachers when they would give me a B+.
Yeah,
like I'm like, that's dumb. Like what are we doing? Like,
what they was probably saying about you when you left the room? This motherfucker, bro.
Hey, and that's cool.
You scored an 88. That's a B+, AJ. An 80. You was almost at an A. That was a 90.
Don't put no big ass B and a plus sign on my paperwork, dog.
Percentages, bro.
Percentages
mean
I'm not rocking with that like that, or either like even a C+. Like I think I did some type of project back at school back in the day. I got a C+. Like what the fuck is a C+, dog? Come on.
78, 79. That's what it is.
Nah, I'm not rocking.
Daron Payne, if it's up to me, bro, go ahead, bro. Get up out of here, man. Find your better pastures somewhere else, like Jonathan Allen did in Minnesota. find your new home, buddy. I ain't with it.
Are we gonna be worse without him? That's the question. How much worse can you be?
Bro, how much worse can you be? Let me scroll up and start with where we at. Monty, keep Payne. Grade for Jones is a B+. D Monique. What's up, bro? I don't know if that says Monique too, so that may not be.
let me check out the
yeah.
So you're right, it's D Monique.
yeah. So what's up? I don't know if you're new, what I'm saying, if you're new to the show, what's up? Appreciate you checking in. Optimistic about the hire, I give it a B. No mention about Payne though. Yo Soy said B+ keep Payne. Moneyball D- higher. You are very.
How Moneyball hating on Daronte Jones, but he loved Joe Witt? I don't get it.
Well,
what's wrong with you?
He
bro?
came in here saying it was a mid higher. I don't know how mid higher ended up being a D-, but
he loved Joe Witt though. That was his man.
He said keep Payne. Bowie said move on from Payne. We need picks, but he did not mention. Okay, he did not mention agreed for the hire. JB said A- higher, keep Payne. I knew it. That's why I was like, hold on, this ain't. I was about to say this can't be.
Thank you. Because I thought Maul was talking about a man. I didn't see the name, but when I
when I said, bro, I was like, hold on, bro, Monique is not. Yeah, all right, there we go. Bowie Banks, MSU Pride. You know what time it is, bro. Yeah. All right, that's it for us. We are. It's the 27th. You know what I'm playing? You know what I should have did, bro? You know what? I'm working on it. We're gonna try and get a guest this week. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, all 32 back tomorrow. The fellas will be back regularly scheduled next Tuesday. We'll try to get a guest on this week before the week is out. But yeah, y'all keep it down until he's still. Hey, bro, y'all take it easy. Enjoy y'all night. We about here, man. Peace.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Down, set, watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.